damn, they losing so much footage. They losing shit on the moon now.
And like, as is typical lately of this found footage genre, they obviously just don't give a shit whether or not they ever explain how it could even plausibly be found at all. You're like, fuck it, it's on the moon. But I thought it was found footage. Yeah, well, whatever.
No.
This is based on a true story I just made up.
A rat bit my sister Nell, and this found footage is on the moon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, how careless did the astronauts be when they just dropped that camera on the moon? And and it's amazing that they went back and found it.
And not to mention the fact that in this particular film, apparently they had like 80 cameras. Were like everywhere.
2,000 cameras. Yeah. I'm surprised like they didn't have cameras filming other cameras. They got so many shots.
Points like there's only 2 astronauts on the moon, and there's clearly someone else with the camera moving along, showing both of them, and you're like, who's the guy with the camera?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't show him, but I guess Ron Howard and Tom Hanks went with them to film.
Was there a shot at least one television with a workout room, just with nothing going on?
You think this movie took so long to get around even being even mildly scary or show who its freaky thing is, that maybe they should have noticed earlier that it was the one holding the camera the whole time.
Right.
It's like, by the way, John, have you noticed that we have all this footage of this? Who was actually shooting this?
So is this like Paranormal Activity on the moon?
I guarantee you that was the business meeting, and that was what happened. They went in and said, it's going to be cheap. We just need this one set. And it's Paranormal Activity. There's even the famous sequence in Paranormal Activity when the girl's just standing over the husband by the bed staring at him all night. They do that here.
Yeah.
Do they? Yes, they do.
I mean,
Is there an astronaut sleeping on the moon and there's a guy standing over him or something?
I mean, you figure like, okay, at its most exciting, it's going to be space madness.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, that's all I'm thinking.
That's what I was thinking. That Ren and Stimpy episode.
Yeah.
That's what I was imagining.
And you get that for maybe 3 minutes.
He starts
total.
He does
not all at once.
He does start coveting his chocolate bar, to be fair.
Yeah. What's it about? Then?
Right.
And then, and I'm really asking this because one of the things I can say that this movie is doing well is that in the trailer
they don't show you.
They don't show. They hardly show you anything. They keep this mystery up. Even I was wondering, like, I want to see this just to know what the hell's going on.
Well, when people
it's
say
easy to not show you anything.
Yeah,
when it's not much to show.
There's not much to pull from to put in a trailer.
If that trailer had been any longer, you'd have seen the whole movie.
Just go outside and look at the moon.
Pretty much.
Not much going on over there.
It's actually an interesting premise, I think, and I can see why they said, you know what, there is the possibility of doing something genuinely scary with this. They didn't find what that was, but anyway, so you start off with the film saying, okay, as you may or may not know, there were only actually 17 Apollo missions, and then the program was scrapped by then. This Apollo 18 is the one they didn't tell your ass about.
The mysterious Apollo 18
happened. All right, so you get that from the get-go. The film's like, this is the deal, right? This is some shit.
Tom Hanks can make a movie about this.
Yeah,
So-
and we just recently found footage from Apollo 18.
Right.
And we've edited some of that to show you this.
Yeah, this is the footage edited together from the mission. So then you go right off with seeing a little bit before the launch and introducing the 2 astronauts who will be on the moon and the 1 astronaut who's in the orbiting module that they'll eventually join back up with. And so they almost immediately go right off. You're like, oh, this is moving pretty fast. That's cool.
Yeah, it
please.
seems like it was moving fast at first.
All done, and it takes place in 1972, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's all very dated to a certain extent.
And they really work it with trying to make the footage look old and the colors are faded and that 70s look. They kind of go overboard with it.
They do.
It's like they bought a new effects package to make film look old, and they just throw it in.
So you can tell that this is a After Effects filter.
Yeah, it's like, man, I can do this on my Android now. Come on. It's got an app for that.
On your cell phone, you can make this
That's
old
what I'm saying.
It's like a kid who just got the filter package, so he's just trying out every one of them, every effect that's in there.
Old time footage.
It gets irritating fast, but not as irritating as it is about a half an hour later when, once they're on the moon, they start having technical problems. Like they lose contact with the module and with Houston, and there's constantly the film footage going bloop, 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 and
Okay, let me get a shot of you with a lamp in the background.
Hey, look at this.
What?
Look at this. The flag's gone.
Houston, Liberty. Did you see anything unusual in the Westinghouse last night? We got some interference and dropouts.
Our flag is gone.
What? Say again.
And the sun getting in the lens, and you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, this movie's giving me a goddamn headache. It doesn't take very long for them to realize something is weird when they find out that they find a Russian module, which weren't supposed to be Russians ever landed on the moon, and like the remains of like a Russian corpse and a bunch of shit. They're like, what the fuck happened here?
Hey, Houston, there's Russians here. What the hell?
Yeah. Now, unfortunately,
just do your job.
I can't really tell you much more without literally giving away the totally lame fucking what it is on the moon, that what happened. I mean, really, it's one of those, like, you will look to the person sitting next to you, you've never seen them before in your life, and you will say, what the fuck is that shit? Well, did an 80-year-old woman, and she'll go, right?
Did the Russians drink some bad tang? What the fuck happened?
Cyrus, I would correct you only in that when you say, what the fuck is that shit? That might make some people go like, well, man, what is it that he can't tell me?
You make me want to see it.
Like that. No. It's not so much you say, what the fuck is that shit? You say, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean in that sense of saying, what the fuck is that shit?
It's like I waited an hour through their technical problems and all this boring shit you have to go through with these found footage movies.
And this is the thing
and this is the payoff?
I mean, I guess part of the problem is that it's putting you in a situation that there's no one except astronauts can identify with. They try so hard to make it seem real. They're really there. It's 1972. And you've got no point of identification. And when they introduce what the thing is, you're just like, well, that's really one of the stupidest ideas I've ever heard.
Let me guess, did they find giant robots on the moon?
Yeah, did they find Megatron or the Transformers?
It's not as dumb as that, to be fair, but it's pretty dumb.
It ain't much less dumb than that.
Did somebody eat a rock and say, it is green cheese?
To make it even worse,
you know, it's funny because there's a shot of the moon early in the movie that I totally expected to see a face in that moon.
Right?
Make it Mac tonight.
It irritated me even more the fact that, like, they said, okay, well, this really isn't very scary at some point. So they said, well, so we better make it so that these guys can get, like, possessed by these things too.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, really? How does that even make sense?
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, they try to stack the deck.
So one of the things that, like, I got to give things like the Blair Witch Project, Paranormal Activities 1 and 2, you got to give them credit for making that work, because hold on. Because the deal is that those movies play on supernatural and an element that we're used to seeing it in. Now, I don't know what the thing is up on the moon, but that really does seem like a stretch for us to buy anything that's extraterrestrial, even though it's in space. On the moon, is it aliens that's doing this? Or is it ghosts? I mean, any stretch of that seems like it's hard for anybody to buy.
I would have given those movies credit before tonight. And Cyrus brings up the reason why is because with those movies, okay, these are people I can somewhat identify with, the situations. But like you said, it's just astronauts, on the moon walking around in their capsule. I'm like, all right, I guess it's like that hour that you're waiting for something to happen. You can't connect with it. It's just kind of like, can we get past this part because it's dull?
Were there any genuine like creepy moments at least where they tried to set up any kind of tension?
What's terrible is you see them thinking stuff is scary, like the way they do it. And there's even points with the camera, because it's found footage, right? So they'll have a point where go, look at this, and it'll like have a white point in the screen in the background, and then it'll focus in on something. You're like, something moved. And it's like, that's not scary. You totally telegraphed that whole thing. And I'm going, and?
That's too bad, man, because we were talking about this before. It's like the whole found footage genre is, we can't rely on the whole gimmick of people buying into it now. Nobody buys into it. We're all savvy to it at this point. We're always saying, like, man, somebody should do something creative with it. And I thought, like, okay, this is creative. They're putting it in space. I'm really disappointed to hear that didn't work.
No, it doesn't work. Matter of fact, I think one of the things that has to work for a found footage film is that you don't recognize anybody there. So you think, oh, these are real people. The main actor, he's on that show Alphas. Yeah. I was like, well, that's blown right off the bat.
That's stupid.
The guy who's in the modules on a popular Canadian sci-fi show as well.
Warren Christie and Lloyd, what was it? What's the guy's name? Warren Christie is the guy on Alphas.
Okay.
Right. And the other guy they're both on TV shows.
Right.
Lloyd Owen. So they're both on television shows. So you know them. See, that's the other thing. You're exactly right. Why would you put recognizable faces in there in a movie that relies on found footage of people that you're supposed to like buy as real people?
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like with those other, found footage movies, they get people who I know are actors, but they're terrible actors. So that's why they come off as real people.
Maybe that's supposed to be the scary part.
And if there's anything like watching these guys, like I'm not saying they're necessarily good actors, but you can tell they're professionals, and they come off that way the whole time.
Yeah.
And even the whole like trying to be like it's real. It's like the whole found footage thing. They kind of abandon that premise all the time. I mean, they they'll just the way the shots are made, very professional, moving the camera all around, and just when you go like, okay, so I think they've given up on it, then they start distressing the film again. Just
Right.
Like oh no, well, we forgot, we're still on it, on it.
And that's the key for me with these is because I've been known to bitch at length about how important it is to stay within the mythology you've created yourself, especially in any sort of like horror film like that. If you've set rules, you gotta stick by those fucking rules, or the audience comes out of the movie and goes, well, this isn't fucking scary. This new trend in these found footage movies to say, well, it's found footage when it's effective for it to be found footage, and when it's cheap for us to film, and when the plot needs it not to be, it won't be, and people are too stupid to figure that out. Wow. This is one of, if not the most blatant offender of that rule I have yet to come across. And it's just so goddamn lazy about it. You're like, well, you just have nothing but contempt for your audience.
You're depressing me right now.
I kind of felt like what it reminded me of is like when you strip away that whole gimmick they're trying to do with it and just get to what the film is. It's like the opening teaser. Like you said, you go to watch a sci-fi horror film, and you know there's always an opening right before the credits to set you up for what that thing is going to be.
Set the mood.
Yeah. It's like some astronauts land on a abandoned spacecraft, and then they find something there, and they get killed. This is that part, except just stretched out for an hour and 26 minutes.
Because what you're saying, it's sounding like right now, which sucks because I was really looking forward to seeing this movie. I really am. And the thing is, you're making it sound like I should just fucking stay at home, flip to the NASA channel, and watch people just looking into a camera, not doing anything. Because with this premise, though, I'm like, you know what? You're right. With something like this, the found footage thing's been done so much that you almost now have to take it to a fantastical level, like Troll Hunter did.
Yeah.
Just to make your time invested.
Yeah, but that stuck with its mythology, Troll Hunter.
It did.
You were like, wow, okay, so they never abandoned this concept. They stuck with it, and you were able to enjoy it on that level. This is where you're like, okay, well, this is just a cheap gimmick, is all this is. There's nothing wrong with filming a movie that way, presuming you've got an audience that doesn't get motion sickness. But yeah, I mean, stick to your goddamn guns. Like I said, there's nothing about this movie that wasn't lazy and half-assed.
And I could have gone with them abandoning the whole, that setup that they were doing with the found footage if they had decided, okay, we're going to abandon it and now get into a really good story.
Yeah.
But they don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
no
you talk about
story at
watching
all.
NASA channel, watch that for an hour and then watch something like Sanctum or not Sanctum. I can't remember was it Pandora? Or
Pandora,
yeah.
Yeah.
Or you know what? The opening to Green Lantern, where they unleash that evil with the astronauts walking around on it.
Watch episodes of Lost in Space.
It's Superman 2, where the astronauts accidentally is that the Superman?
Yeah, that is. But the way they get their ass kicked by Zod.
Yeah. It's like everything you watch an hour of just shit to get to that part. And then it's kind of done.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? It sounds like, it's just an insult to what they've done. Like, you got people. Yeah, that was a great example of saying, Troll Hunter, where they've done something creative with that found footage stuff. Nobody buys the real trolls out there.
Yeah.
So for them to be on, to take this in space and drop the ball like that.
Yes, there is, Leon. Don't listen to that.
What'd you say?
I said it's not.
There he is.
He's the one. Okay, I take it back. See, when you do stick to your fucking premise, man, people do buy it. He believed that there were trolls. They sold that shit to him. Man, don't go over there, man. They got trolls. I've seen the movie about it.
Man, I'm worried about you going to this Amsterdam part.
He brought you a goat.
Fuck up! I'm a troll hunter, man. I'm a troll.
Fucking the trolls over there are so stoned. They're not going to do it.
Yeah, man. It sounds like I really am disappointed that they actually took it to space and couldn't do anything with it. So what would y'all give it?
You know what? For the most part, I was kind of like, man, this is just so lame and a waste of time, but I can just zone out. And I felt like this is just such the lowest of low rentals. And yet, no, but then at the very end, and these movies do this to me all the time. At the it goes to black and they put up like,
it's not over.
Yeah, this person was found here, and then the aftermath when they type it up. and put it on the screen to like try to convince you, no, this was real. And that's when I go like, you know what? Fuck you.
I can see that because you sit up there like, no, that person was found in that TV show that I watch every day on TV on television, man.
Yeah, so that just dragged it down to me to just a big some old bullshit.
Okay.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth because I was like, I mean, it was a good like premise, but then they fucked it up by not having anywhere to go with it and not keeping inside their own mythology. And I was just bored through most of it. But I gave them points. At least they had halfway decent actors in there. I mean, these guys were at least trying.
Right.
Hand it to the actors for that. But then you get to that ending script, which, like I said, we're still not saying what it is, but the actual, what's supposed to be scary is so retarded. And then the final thing of like, it's out there and it might be coming for you thing they do in the script is so laughable. Me and my buddy I was sitting with, we just started laughing out loud and I just yelled, fuck you, movie! The whole crowd started laughing as we were walking out. Like, come on! It's fucking retarded. Are you serious? This is some old bullshit.
Wow. Oh, God, that is depressing. I want to go home and you've seen those car commercials, the car commercial where you're supposed to stare at it. You see the car going through a nice serene place and all of a sudden you see that crazy fucking witch lady come up and screaming. Yeah. I want to do that with some NASA footage of just everyone there hanging out in the control bay, and then all of a sudden that bitch comes up. That's entertainment right there.
That would be scary.
That would be scarier than what we saw.
Watching C-SPAN is scarier than this film.
Well, it's funny because y'all aren't saying what it is. Why do I get the feeling that there was no mention of Apollo 18 because those guys just got horny and start fucking with each other. And when they found that footage, they're like, fuck, man, yeah, we were possessed. There was something up there that just took hold of our dicks and we couldn't do anything, man.
No gay astronauts in 1972. That was not cool.
You telling me it just turned into an amateur porn?
In space.
Corey's favorite.
Something else out here. Something's moving. Inside my suit. I can't get it out. It's my helmet. What the hell are you doing? Angel, kill us both! Houston, this is Liberty. Do you read me? God!